This is what it's like to be a full-time traveling gym rat. I'm James, and I'm on a road trip to visit every U.S. national park with an entire gym I keep in my Honda Civic. I started wandering ways to show you that it's possible to live a healthy lifestyle as a full-time traveler. I was in Pittsburgh for one of my best friend's bachelor party and had to fly back to Las Vegas. I was planning to hit the gym when I got back, but naturally my flight got delayed and I had to figure something out. I perused the airport for a bit and found a decent spot to post up and do some calisthenics. It was chest day, so I just did push-ups until I couldn't do anymore. I could have gotten more creative, but I also didn't want to be a sweaty, greasy mess on a 4.5-hour flight. I threw in a couple of these too. I don't really know what they're called, but you should give them a try. They hit your obliques pretty hard. I was feeling much better after some movement. You know those Snickers commercials? Those dudes turn into grouchy old ladies and it's like, you're not you when you're hungry? That's literally me if I don't exercise. Our flight finally got called and I was like the last person on the plane. I'll never understand the rush to be first on board. You're just spending more time on the plane than you have to. But picked out my aisle seat and we were on our way through the space-time continuum. It was a long day, man. I landed in Las Vegas at 11:30 Pacific time, and I had started the day on Eastern. The batteries were completely out of juice, and I was itching to get to the hotel for some shut-eye. I was excited though. I booked a pretty nice hotel, and I was chuckling to myself, giving the keys to the valet and waltzing into this nice hotel with my Crocs and sweatpants. But got checked in and took an absolute nosedive into the bed because that's just what you do when you stay at a hotel.
The next day,
I had an absolute monster day planned, and honestly I was stressing about it because I basically didn't sleep and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do everything I wanted to, let alone function at all. But got geared up and crocked up and we were ready for an action-filled Monday fun day. The valet guy asked if I lowered the car and I had to tell him that I had 1,000 pounds of weights in the back. It was kind of funny. So I got on the road and about 20 minutes into the drive, I realized I couldn't find my freaking wallet. Like my little Apple one with my credit cards in the back. And I started freaking out and cussing up a storm. If I lost it, I'd be out of luck for not only the day, but just the entirety of this trip. So I backtracked and turns out I'm just an idiot and forgot it. Which like, thank God, that would have been awful. But I had just lost an hour out of the day. My plan was to hit Death Valley and annihilate my back. And for those who don't know, Death Valley can literally be at up to 130 degrees. So I was a little nervous I'd go up in flames the longer it took me to get there. And I had to make sure I had ample ATP, electrolytes, and jet fuel to make it through the day. So a couple of stops for provisions was necessary. Pro tip, stop at a grocery store when you're on the road so you can get actual food. It's worth the extra 5 minutes and your body will thank you. After an eventful morning, I got powered up with some natural sugars and the caffeine started coursing through my veins and it was about time for a mid-drive performance.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue. Another day is going by. I'm thinking about you. So been waiting all goes to hell. When I was a young boy, my father. Whatever makes it right.
I'm all the way back to my angsty teen pop punk music. It's so good. If you have any lip sync requests, let me know in the comments. Believe it or not, Death Valley was actually the first national park that I've ever visited. And at the time, I had zero appreciation for them. My friends and I were just visiting Las Vegas and needed a break from drinking and gambling for a day. But times have changed and now I'm a national park geek. My first stop in the park was Dante's View and I was debating about hitting my workout here, but there were a lot of people in the parking lot area, so I just decided to move on, which turned out to be pretty problematic later on. I set my course to the visitor center and coming down from Dante's View, the change in temperature was like 30 degrees. It was nuts. And I was getting nervous about working out in this heat, let alone just a few short hikes. They literally have signs out that basically say you're gonna die if you go hiking, but that wasn't gonna stop us today. What kills you makes you stronger. That's definitely not how the saying goes, but oh well. The one hike I actually did was Golden Canyon. And it was in the middle of the day, everyone was scared of the heat, and I was the only one on the trail. This is low-key one of my favorite hikes too. It's a short one, but the yellow structures are otherworldly, and I highly recommend this one, especially if it's later in the day. After the hike, I was starting to cook up a little bit. It felt like my skin was starting to sizzle, but we still had one more stop to make. The hottest place in the park, Badwater Basin. It's the lowest point in the US at negative 282 feet below sea level. It's very cool to see from Dante's View and then go boots on the ground walking through the salt flats. The heat signs here are nuts. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. So not working out at Dante's View proved to be a really poor decision on my end. It was like 80 degrees at the view and it topped out at 114 in the basin. I was running low on water and it just wouldn't be smart to attempt to work out in these extreme conditions. Younger me probably would have given it a shot, but I've gotten smarter. kinda. But we don't skip workouts around here. There's one town in between Las Vegas and Death Valley, and I was pretty stoked to find a park that was basically deserted to go put my back and buys in a blender. I must have looked like an absolute buffoon making this peanut butter and banana sandwich on the hood of my car, but it's ritual and it had to be done. Unfortunately, no Reese's today. They would have just been soup like the peanut butter I left in my car, but cracked a C4 for some electricity and got to work.
Go, 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 shawty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a Cardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday.
If you haven't hit an outdoor workout, you just have to. The sense of freedom is literally unmatched, and it's just so much freaking fun, man. It was almost 8 o'clock. I was starving. We still had a long drive to get back to the hotel. We still had one thing left on the agenda once we got back to Las Vegas. To solve my hunger problem, I found a Panda Express, and this is a fast food place I actually seek out. If you're a gym guy or girl in a pinch and want to stay on track, get a bigger plate with a base of super greens and 3 servings of teriyaki chicken. It's literally 120 grams of protein for $10. An absolute cheat code and a no-brainer. I finally got back to the hotel and I was exhausted. I only had this night in Las Vegas to explore since I had to make it to Phoenix the next day, and you just can't not walk the strip if you're in Vegas. I decided to take a pass at the tables today and not gamble. Anytime I go to a casino, I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to that ATM machine, take out $100, play 4 hands of blackjack, get 16s on each hand, bust, and there goes my $100. It's literally like clockwork. So I opted for some more wholesome fun. I love the Bellagio fountains. I think they're great, and they usually have some killer tunes on when they pop off. But that's about it for this adventure. If you like hiking, lifting, and solo travel, you're in the right place. Follow for more.